Hey summoners, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to break down one of the most exciting and challenging matchups in the Baron lane, Jax versus Vladimir. This battle is all about timing, positioning, and skill expression. So if you've ever wondered how to handle this matchup or you're looking for tips to improve your gameplay, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. First off, let's talk about Jax. He's an absolute monster once he hits the mid to late game. His strengths lie in his dueling potential, scaling, and mobility. With Counter-Strike 2, he can dodge incoming auto attacks, and his Leap Strike 1 gives him the mobility to gap close on enemies or escape tricky situations. His Empower 3 boosts his next auto attack, giving him burst damage and making him a threat in skirmishes. His true power comes from his passive Relentless assault, which increases his attack speed as the fight goes on. This is where he becomes a late-game menace.
First blood.
Now let's talk about Vladimir. Vladimir is a lane bully when it comes to sustained fights and can be incredibly difficult to take down if you don't manage him properly. His Transfusion, 1, provides great healing and poke damage, and his Sanguine Pool, 2, allows him to dodge damage while sustaining health in the middle of a fight. His Tides of Blood, 3, gives him a nice area of effect damage tool that becomes stronger the more he uses it, but also costs health. And of course, Hemoplague Ultimate is a game changer when it comes to teamfights, applying a damage amplification debuff to all affected enemies. In the early game, Jax tends to have a stronger laning phase, especially if he can trade effectively using his Leap Strike and Counter-Strike combo. His mobility allows him to dodge Vladimir's poke and get in close for trades. Early on, Vladimir isn't as tanky, so Jax can outdamage him if he manages to dodge that initial poke. However, Vladimir can make things tricky. He can sustain with his Transfusion, so even if Jax trades with him, Vladimir can heal up quickly. His poke can be frustrating to deal with, especially if he lands consistent Tides of Blood or lands a solid Transfusion. Also, with the right positioning, Vladimir can keep Jax at bay, forcing him to use his Leap Strike defensively instead of aggressively. To win early trades as Jax, you'll want to engage when Vladimir doesn't have his Sanguine Pool ready. You can initiate with Leap Strike and follow up with Counter-Strike to block any auto attacks or abilities Vladimir may try to hit you with. If he uses Sanguine Pool, don't waste your cooldowns. Let him dodge your initial combo, and instead, look for opportunities to empower and Leap Strike him once the pool duration expires.
Ally slain. Bottom turret is under attack.
As Vladimir, you want to try to poke Jax as much as possible with transfusion and tides of blood without overcommitting. If Jax jumps in with Leap Strike, use Sanguine Pool to avoid damage and reposition. Make sure you manage your health, as Vladimir can be vulnerable if you're not careful with your HP during trades. You should also make use of the wave control to prevent Jax from diving you under tower.
Middle turret is under attack. Your team has slain the dragon.
As the game progresses into mid-late game, Jax starts to come online. This is where Jax shines, especially after completing a few core items like Trinity Force or Blade of the Ruined King. With these items, Jax becomes an unstoppable force in duels. If you're Jax, focus on farming and look for opportunities to split push. Vladimir may struggle to deal with you one-on-one, especially if you can avoid his Hemoplague.
Enemy slain. Enemy turret destroyed. Enemy killing spree. Shut down.
However, don't count Vladimir out. He has fantastic scaling, especially once he gets a few items like Riley's Crystal Scepter or Cosmic Drive. Vladimir can poke and wave clear with ease, and once he hits his level 11 and unlocks his ultimate Hemoplague, he becomes a huge threat in teamfights. The key here is for Vladimir to avoid being all-inned by Jax before he has the items to sustain longer engagements. As Jax, positioning is key. You need to decide if you're going to keep split pushing or rotate to help your team with skirmishes and objectives. If you're split pushing, use your Leap Strike to dodge Vladimir's poke, and once you get onto him, make sure to burst him quickly before he has the chance to heal up or escape.
Enemy slain. Ally slain. Ally slain. Unstoppable. Killing spree. Shut down. Enemy turret destroyed. Turret is under attack. Enemy slain.
In the late game, Jax is a massive threat. If he's ahead or even, he can destroy towers, split push effectively, and melt through squishy targets. His dueling potential is through the roof, especially with items like Trinity Force or Divine Sunderer. He can one-on-one just about anyone, but he needs to be careful of Vladimir's ultimate and sustain.
Enemy killing spree. The enemy team has stolen the dragon. Rampage. Enemy rampage. Shut down. Double kill. You have slain an enemy. You have been ally slain. Enemy killing spree. Enemy slain. You have slain an enemy. Double kill. Triple kill. You are on a killing spree. Shut down. Enemy rampage. Turret lost.
As Jax, you need to focus on avoiding Vladimir's Hemoplague during team fights. If Vladimir is left unchecked, he can easily turn a fight in his favor. Consider getting Maw of Malmortius or Guardian Angel for additional survivability. In a 1 versus 1, if you dodge his Sanguine Pool and burst him quickly with your Leap Strike and Empower, you should be able to outplay him.
Ally slain. Rampage. Baron Nashor. Enemy is unstoppable. Enemy slain. Ally slain. You have slain an enemy.
Imagine if you had a real weapon.
Enemy turret destroyed. Enemy slain. Ally slain. Enemy slain. Enemy slain. Your team has slain the Elder Dragon. Enemy turret destroyed. Enemy turret destroyed.
Darkness obscures.
Killing spree. Bottom turret is under attack. Enemy turret destroyed. Turret lost.
All right, Summoners, that's a wrap on this in-depth guide for the Jax versus Vladimir matchup in the Baron lane.
Enemy is
Both
gone.
champions have their strengths and weaknesses, but understanding their power spikes and abilities is key to outplaying your opponent.
Shut down.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Drop a comment below if you have any questions or if you want me to cover any other Wild Rift matchups. See you next time, and good luck on the Rift.
Unstoppable. Shut down.